Welcome back. Agitation and aggression are common in patients with Alzheimer's dementia and are a source of distress for caregivers. Patients may shout, curse, or even become violent. Currently available medications have lots of side effects and are only modestly effective for treating agitation. A study tested a combination of two existing medications and whether this would help control agitation in patients with Alzheimer's.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Lori Gabello is very familiar with hospitals and doctors' offices. Her father has Alzheimer's disease and her mother dementia, but it wasn't always that way.
They were extremely active. They traveled a lot. They were extremely social.
Now, in full-time care, both of Lori's parents have frequent bouts of agitation.
When people do come in to help him with his showers or his daily care and stuff, he does get extremely agitated. She gets very upset and very agitated, no matter what it is. What they're serving for dinner, the fact that they play the same music over and over.
These are the things that make caregiving so extremely difficult when there is a violent or aggressive reaction by the patient.
Dr. Jeffrey Cummings from the Cleveland Clinic and co-authors recruited 220 patients with Alzheimer's dementia and agitation. During a preliminary 10-week trial, participants were randomly assigned to receive either the combination of dextromethorphan and quinidine or a placebo.
The dextromethorphan-quinidine combination had a substantial effect in reducing agitation, and it did so at a substantially greater rate than was experienced in the placebo group, and we showed that the drug was safe and effective.
Dr. Cummings says there also appeared to be benefit for the caregivers of these patients.
There was a reduction in the stress experienced for caregivers of the patients who were treated with the dextromethorphan-quinidine combination.
Although caring for her parents is sometimes overwhelming, Lori takes comfort in knowing they have lived full lives.
They didn't not do anything that they set their heart out to do that was on their bucket list. They did all of it.
Catherine Dolph, The JAMA Report.
The combination of these two medications is not yet available for patients. More studies are needed before the results can be presented to the FDA for approval. The Supreme Court handed conservative challengers a loss today in a key voting rights case. In a unanimous result, the court said a state can draw legislative districts based on total population. At issue in the case was the one person, one vote principle dating back to the 1960s, when the court held that state legislative districts must be drawn so that they are equal in population. But until today, justices never specified whether that doctrine applied to the general population or to the voting population. All states currently draw lines based on general population, but two conservative plaintiffs from Texas argued their vote was being diluted in relation to other districts that had the same number of people but fewer voters. Sally Kerr from the Nevada Outreach Program talks about classes that they offer to the community free of charge.
You can teach a parent to parent. I mean, you absolutely can. I wish that they came, we all wish that they had come with manuals, but these actually provide you that manual. And so we literally have a curriculum, it's called Nurturing Parenting, that teaches people how to nurture, how to care for, how, not to use corporal punishment, how you do that, like you say, tips and practices with parenting that go from infants clear up through adult age or young people age.
Because everybody knows there's frustrating times as a parent, so you guys have some tips to help out people during some of those times that maybe they just don't know where to turn.
Right, not only that, but on top of a class, let's not forget the peer support that comes from a class. So if there are now, 8 sets of parents that are sitting around a table or 8 families sitting around a table, somebody has probably addressed the issue that you're having the frustration with right now. Yeah. So to bring like people together, to learn to parent together is a great way to help families.
And the grandparent class to help grandparents also that are taking probably care of being actually being a parent again, right?
That's right, and we're not limited to just grandparents, although most people recognize. We call it second generation parenting. So that great aunt and uncle, the grandparents who have raised their kids and however they ended up back in the parenting role are now parenting young children or children that are not theirs but are second generation to them.
You can find out more information on the classes and all the services that you guys have.
Right, absolutely. You can call our office at 751-1118.
That's also a hotline, right?
That is also a 24-hour hotline for any kind of sexual assault, domestic violence, stalking. It is answered 24/7 by an advocate.
If you're in an emergency situation, you can call that number. You can also call the Nye County Sheriff's Office.
Right, we would always want someone to call 911 in the event of an emergency where they feel like are in physical danger, of course. But oftentimes we see that as they come out of that, they still need somebody to talk to. So even if a sheriff has responded to your need, please call us anyway. Like, don't feel like that's the end of the support for you. That's the beginning of the support for you. So call our hotline to get in touch with an advocate that can help walk you through that process.
And the annual spring concert, sponsored by the Pahrump Arts Council, is happening Wednesday night at the Pahrump Nugget. We caught up with High Desert Chorale Director Andrew Barnum.
It's going to be 50s and 60s music.
Wow.
And the second half will be 50s and 60s hit parade
And so this is all happening at the Pahrump Nugget, right?
at the Pahrump Nugget. April 13th at the Nugget, 7:30 p.m.
And then how's the choir going right now? Going pretty good?
It always gets scary this point of rehearsals, but
Yeah.
they always come through.
Wonderful. So definitely a spring concert to come and enjoy, especially with the 50s and 60s. That's going to really get the crowd moving,
I
isn't
think
it?
it might be one of the most fun concerts that we have had.
How much is it to get in?
Well, we're asking for a $5 donation. That's a donation.
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't have that $5 you want to spend to come and see us, which is well worth it.
Are you guys taking food donations too?
I think so. I haven't heard, actually. That's not my department, but
There you
I'm
go.
sure they will.
And that's being hosted by the Pahrump Arts Council, but of course the High Desert Chorale is the focus of this evening. So the $5 donations goes to the Pahrump Arts Council, and
Actually, yes. I will emphasize that $5 donation because that basically is our budget.
exactly. So once again, date and time, location.
April 13th. That's on a Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. at the Nugget.
And we'll return with more news in just a moment.